Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. We're heading to the NFL Monday Night Football, and we're heading to Mexico this week, guys. We've got Houston versus Oakland, and the Raiders 7-2, guys. I know there was a lot of buzz preseason. People like the Oakland Raiders, thought they were going to be a vastly improved team. I got to admit, I didn't think they were going to be this much improved. Are they for real? What do you guys think? Start with you, Brian.
If you're a stats guy, you say no. But if you're a guy that uses the eye test, you say yes. It's going to be an interesting, you mentioned the game being played in Mexico. I don't know the travel situations or anything right now, but from a strict standpoint of visiting an international city, Mexico City's, a lot of people haven't been there. Who would you rather trust? An Oakland Raiders team going there based on their history, the season they're having, or the Houston team who's had a down season? I think Oakland may be out partying a lot once they're in Mexico City.
Preston?
I agree with Brian. They don't look that much, improved versus last season if you really break it down, other than the 7-2 number, which people will say that's all that matters ultimately. If you can get wins. They had two games specifically I was watching because I was against them that they got, on their last drive, 4th down, game over, and then late flag on some bogus pass interference that even kept the drive alive. They ended up scoring to win those. The difference between 5-4 and 7-2 looks like, just from an eye test, right? That seems like such a big difference, and they easily could be 5-4 or even 4-5. They had a couple comeback wins that were earlier, early fourth quarter comebacks. But you also have to give them credit for that too. I'm not a guy that really likes Oakland. I bet against them twice and failed miserably on those late plays. I just can't beat them, so I haven't bet against them. I'm curious to see though how they respond in a spot like this, like Brian mentioned, where they are going to Mexico. Just in general, we haven't seen it really, in the NFL. So I'm going to stay back and just watch the game if I can get through it. These days, the NFL's tough to watch sometimes. I hope I'll be able to watch this one and hopefully we get a good game.
Me being a situational guy, I look at this one and you look at the Raiders, and everything I look at tells me to line up and go against them. I don't like to take teams off of a bye week that went into the bye week on a roll. You can't go into their bye any more of a roll than they are with what they're doing right now, but more importantly, their last game. They beat the Denver Broncos. It was on Sunday Night Football. That was their statement game, because everybody was saying the same things that you just said, Brian. You look at the eye test and you look at the numbers and they don't match up, but they proved that they were the better team. They took it to Denver in that game, and they're in first place. So now I like to use the phrase, they went into the bye week fat and sassy after that satisfying win. I like to use the term legitimizer. They proved to the world that they're legit. And then you got this Houston team that Brock Osweiler, you don't know what you're going to get. Most often it's been bad, but he's had a few good games. Last week, horrible game. They should have got beat by Jacksonville. The only thing that kept them winning that game was Blake Bortles was worse than he was, if that's possible. But, I look at this, I just think the dog's live here, for the Monday night game. I wish this was a Sunday game rather than the Monday night and, being on the spotlight. Because if it was just a regular Sunday game, I would love to go against Oakland even more.
I'm not going to waste any of my wishes on scheduling of an NFL football game. I'm an older man. I like younger women. But anyway, it's interesting because Oakland has a history, the penalty situation. Oakland has a history, when Al Davis was around, they always had more penalties than everybody else. All season, they've had more penalties than anybody else. They had the record-setting game in which they had the most penalties. And then the next week, they win the penalty yardage. They win the penalty battle. First time all season. It was strange. But, you're right. I can't trust Oakland in this situation. The fat and sassy team, they're a younger team. We find out a lot about Oakland this week, I believe.
I will say defensively, they're not very good. If Houston and Brock Osweiler can move the ball against really anybody, they should be able to do it against Oakland. It's whether or not they can keep up, I guess.
The last 4 games, Houston has got the running game going some. They're averaging 5 yards a carry over the last 4 weeks for Houston. So that's going to be key. Take some of the pressure off of Brock Osweiler if they can keep that running game going. So if I put you on the fire, Brian?
I can't lay the points with the Raiders. And like you said, I haven't had any success going against them either. But, you got to bang me in the head at least one more time before I'm going to come to my senses.
What's the current total number? So 46.5?
I double check
Now
that.
I'm putting everyone on the spot.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me at the moment.
I think if I had to make a play in the game, it would be over.
It'd be the over.
So I'd have to look at my numbers, and I can, when I tweet it out, I'll make a comment about it.
All right, there you go. I'm going to go with Houston, give the lean to Houston plus the points here. I think it's going to go right down to the wire, and hopefully Brock Osweiler will throw a football to the right colored jersey. On
The MVP is his agent, I got to tell you that.
Yeah, he did a good job, that's for sure. All right, there you have it. Hey, guys, don't forget, each and every Tuesday at Wager Talk, you can get one capper. We pick them, and we offer his best bet for just $2. It's a great way to introduce yourself to Wager Talk or to a new capper. Check it out each and every Tuesday, $2 Tuesday at Wager Talk. We'll be back with more here, the best bets from Preston and myself at wagertalk.com.